Hi, hey guys, this is the Nerd Variety Podcast, and I'm here with Hannah
Hello.
and Josh,
Hey, what's up?
and I'm Hunter. So, Josh, you just went to Atlanta Comic Con this past weekend.
Yes, I did. I went with some friends. We took a nice little drive up there to Atlanta. Got in there, and it was very chill. Con Atlanta Comic Con. This is only its second year, so I think they're still getting their bearings. Kind of figure out they're not quite up there with Dragon Con. They might be slightly. They might be. They're probably a little. They're probably under Dragon Con too. But it was really relaxing con. It was a lot of people there on Saturday, but Friday and Sunday were really kind of was there. It was a little sparse, but it made it easy to get to the people that you wanted to see and get a good look around the place. We immediately went in there and got to see uh, Sean Schimmel, who voices Goku from Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
and then Steve Dowse, who voices Master Chief from Halo,
Yeah.
and those were amazing experiences.
Sounds like it. Those are both really great voice actors. I mean, I feel like I heard though that Sean Schimmel's definitely not been the only one voicing Goku in English, has he been? I feel like there's been a variety of them.
As far as I know, I'm not as huge of a Dragon Ball Z fan as others, but I've from what I've watched in the show that he's done the voice. He's got the biggest name for it,
Oh, okay.
especially for as doing the American voiceover.
Yeah, because I remember reading something about there's like a Chinese or Japanese woman that does all of Goku's voices the entire time of Goku's run in the anime in the Japanese version. But I think I also had heard that there have been a variety of different voice actors, male voice actors for Goku in the English version.
No, so far only one that know was Sean,
Oh,
and of course I can't remember her name, but the Japanese actress that has voiced Goku since the I think the end of
probably since Dragon Ball.
yeah.
That would be my guess. But okay, cool, cool. Did you meet anybody else besides those two?
That day we met. I think just I got Sean to sign my Goku Z Fighters jacket, and then I got
Nice,
Steve Dowse to sign my original Halo 3 for Xbox. So my first owned Halo game. So that was
nice.
a really nice. It's gonna be a nice little keepsake for me. Just kind of look at and just say, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I
So
hope
did you have the jacket beforehand or did you buy it there?
I got it as a Christmas gift last year. So it
Nice.
was just like, well, I need something Dragon Ball for him to sign. And it's like, well, I have a jacket here that I don't wear all the time, but I do wear sometimes. And, you know, I think it would only improve it by getting signed by Goku himself.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I just asked because I was remembering last year when I went to my first Dragon Con, uh, there was at least one shop in the shop area, whatever it was called, that had like these really awesome like leather jackets. I think they were leather. And it may not have been real leather, but they were really awesome. I think I saw like some. I think I saw one that was like Vegeta's original one. Like his original outfit where he had the scouter and everything.
Yeah, his I guess conquesting Saiyan
Yeah.
look. Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, that's really cool. If I had money to spend on stuff right now, I would love to get this. Sadly, it doesn't look like I'll have money to spend on anything at Dragon Con this year either, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
struggle of getting what you want at cons. Do I have the space for this? Do I have the money for this? Can I find this somewhere else for cheaper? And is this item exclusive to this here, the con? All things you got to consider before buying you know, that giant stormbreaker that you want to put on your wall.
yeah. Well, everyone needs a Stormbreaker, right?
Yeah, I mean, how else are you gonna kill Thanos?
Yeah. I guess you have to snap your fingers and just hope for the best.
Uh,
Just remember to
Yeah,
aim for the head.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Most important thing.
Most important
When
thing.
you snap your fingers?
Well, just always.
Oh, okay. And for his head with your snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't want to miss.
yeah.
Actually, okay. Little aside here. What do either of you know what the hammer or not the hammer, the axe that Kratos used in the new God of War is called? I feel like I should be the one to know that since I
You
played.
should.
You should. You played more
Yeah,
God of War than
and
either of
because I made the axe for my cosplay last year, and it's in my room, so I'm just wondering, is that Stormbreaker? Because I feel like maybe it's not. No, no, no. I got it. I came to it on my own. Thanks. It's the Leviathan axe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
I,
googled it.
well, okay. I knew it off the top of my head anyway. Right, but that one was pretty awesome. Sorry, it's just Stormbreaker kind of made me think of that. Anyways,
Cool. 10 points to Hunter's memory.
thank you. Wait, what?
I said 10 points to Hunter's
No, I
memory.
know. That was never mind.
Otherwise,
Because I couldn't remember what you. Okay. No.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, yes, Hannah.
Nothing.
No, I mean, do you have something to add? I feel like you haven't said anything yet.
Well, so we were actually just talking before we started recording about the name Nerd Variety and where it comes from, and it really is a variety of nerds because I have no idea what you guys are talking about with all this Dragon Ball stuff. I feel like I watched it as a kid, but have not gone back to it since, and so I'm recognizing some names here and there, but I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
I'm a different kind of nerd.
I'm the only real Dragon Ball nerd here. Davey's like he's dabbled.
you're an OG Dragon Ball nerd.
I am.
I'm
I was
a bit of a late bloomer.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I knew that about you because when we were roommates, I had heard seen you guys watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and I just assumed you had seen the actual show first, and we had discussions where you just like, no, I don't really know anything about it except from Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Yeah, it was kind of my gateway. I kind of dabbled a little bit with Z after I was in college for a couple of years, and then of course I got introduced to Abridged, and Abridged was more like was just killed me with the humor and but it was also like a good way to look at snippets of the story. Well, not snippets, really a good chunk of the story.
Yeah,
and then,
they cut out a lot of the filler, really.
Yeah.
And honestly, there are definitely parts that they actually kind of do a lot better. They keep it more consistent, surprisingly.
Right. Especially at the end of, it kind of fine tunes it, especially at the end of the Cell arc. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and then I just kind of picked it up from there and watched Super. I was able to follow along, and then now I'm like waiting for the next series of Dragon Ball whenever that's done. Sean said in his at his panel that he's just kind of waiting for some word from on high.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yes.
So
I love anime, but I'm just so intimidated by things like Dragon Ball that, at least to me, because I'm not knowledgeable, it seems like they go on forever.
Kind
And
of.
I'm like, ugh. So I haven't watched like Naruto, or I think One Piece is really long, and I've heard they're really good, but I'm just like, that's so much.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. Like I've seen Dragon Ball, but like Naruto, I've heard there's a lot of it, and I think One Piece is like still going. I think.
Oh my gosh.
Still going?
I don't know, but I know Naruto ended just because I had heard people when I was in college talking about that. I think,
and I feel like slightly like a hypocrite because I've read the entire fairy tale manga.
Ooh, we have a manga reader here.
Oh yeah, oh yes. But it's so long, but I'm like, I read that, but Naruto, I don't know.
Well, I mean, talk about like a hypocrite, I guess. I actually have with me right now a Naruto cup. It's a glass actually that I've had for a while now. I got it in Loot Crate, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I've never seen it, but I know what it is, and it's cool.
They had plenty of Loot Crates there as well. There were a couple that kind of grabbed my eye, but it's still one of those things like, do I
Yeah.
Maybe I can wait. Maybe there's the one thing that I've always wanted from that franchise in there, that because I do need, some fan now. I do need more. I could use more Dragon Ball stuff, but
Yeah.
one of these days. One of these days.
I don't know. Loot Crate just has kind of pissed me off the last few times I got it.
Oh.
I don't need to really get into it too much. It's just I was trying to like help them out. I was trying to get like whatever you call it, affiliate or something with them, partner with them, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of, because I was doing some stuff where I would show off. I would do some unboxings on my stream, and it got ridiculous in their delivery time. Like a crate would end up showing up finally like halfway into the month after it was supposed to come. So I wasn't really ever opening it didn't feel like I was opening the correct month's Loot Crate.
This episode not sponsored by Loot Crate. At least not yet.
No, not sponsored.
At least not yet.
No. If that would happen, then I would be much more positive about it. But,
they're just so weird to me because like I've gotten a couple, and it really, I feel like, really kind of makes money on this whole idea of almost like treasure hunting that we have, which is why we love mystery boxes and the like Storage Wars TV show where it's like, oh, I opened this storage compartment and found all this weird stuff. But it definitely, I feel like, especially if you're not getting a lot of stuff that you're familiar with, it's kind of like a instantaneous like, oh, look at all this random stuff I got, and then it's kind of like, all right, well, that was fun.
Who knows what you're gonna get?
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about Loot Crate, though, however, is that you can see kind of before you get it or before you buy it, you can look up like what the theme is going to be, or they'll tell you what the theme is going to be, and what kind of like what franchises or whatever are going to be involved.
Yeah, and if they didn't, I totally would never have gotten one. But I have gotten a couple, and I've gotten some really fun stuff from them. But I definitely like do a lot of looking into what might be in there before I spring that much money on it, just because of.
Yeah, I think I don't know for sure, but I feel like I've actually gotten some duplicate items, and
gasp.
Like one or two, so not a lot, but I feel like that had happened before, and I was just like, oh.
Now I've spent a good bit of money on what is it that's like their vault or something, so all these like random items that they have left over from a crate they sell it discounted, and I got like a really cool like Triforce scarf and a random like Princess Bride set of playing cards, and just like really random nonsense but cheap, and I know what it is, and I think that's what I've been using it for a lot.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I feel like a lot of booths at the cons are things like, especially one booth had a lot of just little things from different franchises, but things you would thought that you could probably get in a Loot Crate box, because you just never know.
Yeah, actually, honestly, there are like probably two consistent things from Loot Crate that I always love getting, and I love the fact that it's a mystery. It's the T-shirts and the figures. And I have a whole table behind me in my room of the different figures that I've gotten. I wish there were more Funko Pop ones, but just because that's probably my favorite.
Everybody loves Funko.
This is also not sponsored by Funko Pop.
Unfortunately.
Funko Pops.
I have a ridiculous number of those.
I do too, but I wish I had more. And I have a lot of really fun ones. I have like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 Rick Sanchez's, and I have one Morty, but that wasn't from there. That was just a Funko Pop that I bought separately.
I'm just at the point right now where we bought shelves just for Funko Pops. They're small shelves. But we have 4 of them, and each of them fits 3 Funko Pops, and it's just like, I think that maybe this is unhealthy.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. Fine.
Especially because, like, as someone who's very logical, I'm like, they're completely pointless.
They are not pointless. You take
they are. They are. They just sit on a shelf.
They do make great gifts, especially if you have
That's true.
one that
They're just adorable.
like.
But like they're
so,
purely aesthetic.
I
Yes.
know. There's plenty of stuff in any house that is purely aesthetic. I have like 5. No, okay, sorry, that's an understatement. I have. Hold on, give me a second to count all my posters and stuff.
But when they're $10 or $15 a piece, and I have 20 of them, when I'm sitting down and I'm like, I spent $200 on little figurines to sit about my room, like. I'm conflicted about that because I do love them and I think they're adorable and I have a ton that represent a ton of different things that I like, but I'm still just kind of like, I would never sit down in one sitting and spend $200 on dolls.
That's how they get you. You almost have to
I know,
choose
exactly.
which franchises mean the most and get
So, all right,
only those pops.
Sorry to cut you off, but I have I have at least a dozen posters in my.
I have a lot of posters.
But those are purely aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
And
But
they
they do-
technically
but
take
they
up
do-
space. So what's the?
But they do add more to the room.
They take up a lot of space.
Yeah,
so in
so
the
what's the
space where I
difference?
could put one poster, I could put 20 Funko Pops on different shelves.
Yeah.
Spend
So
300, like 400%, 500% the amount of money.
This would be a good idea for a poll. Posters versus Funko Pops.
you know what? We can do that. I can put it up on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
lots of
like.
social media stuff we need to do for this.
Yes,
I like
would
both.
want to see what the people think.
Yeah, I like both, but I do like posters a lot because I feel like you can get a little bit more artsy with them.
Yes.
And there's a lot more variety in the subject matter.
It depends.
Mhm.
It really does depend.
So, like, on my right, I have a very cool blue TARDIS poster. And on my left, I have my Hufflepuff poster that's kind of like a watercolory
Oh,
yellow
Wolf.
with a badger. Yeah, Hufflepuff. So I
Boo,
feel
Hufflepuff.
like. Do what?
Boo, Hufflepuff.
We're not listening. Go on, Hannah.
But it's like they're a little bit more artsy than just having like a figurine. But I still like the figurine.
Especially if you don't have a whole lot of space to put figurines.
Okay,
And then
I
you
know
have-
this is
you don't
different.
have like things on the wall. I have a Fight Club poster.
Of course.
Probably shouldn't talk about it. I have a Walking Dead autograph picture from the Telltale game. I have a Winter Soldier poster. I have a Red vs. Blue and
Wait, is it a Captain America: The Winter Soldier poster?
yes.
Or is it
So like a movie poster.
Yes, it's a movie poster.
not
Gotcha.
the Winter Soldier, the comic book character, but it's the film adaptation? Okay.
Yes. But it's a very cool looking poster. And I have a Marvel poster and then a Red vs. Blue poster.
Okay. I have. Well, I guess we're just naming all the posters we have.
Oh, I only named 2. I did not name all the posters I have.
Most of mine actually are probably Loot Gaming, because those also were another thing I loved from Loot Gaming, which they didn't have in Loot Crate. So I have one for Marvel's Spider-Man. I have one for Mass Effect, one for The Elder Scrolls Online, a Rick and Morty one, a Destiny Warlock poster, an Overwatch poster, a mini Captain Marvel movie poster, and a mini Deadpool 2 movie poster, and another like Deadpool, really cool Deadpool mini poster. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's really cool.
Deadpool loves you too, Hunter.
Oh, I also have a God of War thing.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and an Escape from New York thing.
So, Hannah, did you also have these same issues with figuring out what to get at MomoCon? Because I can imagine they had the same amount of booths and.
Yeah, I did. I definitely bought a Funko Pop while I was there.
Of course.
And I think I don't think I bought any manga, but I maybe thought about it. But I found this. I can't think of the word. It's like holographic. Maybe it's one of those things where like you change the angle that you look at it and it's a different picture.
Yes.
Right, know what I'm talking about?
Yes, they had some really interesting ones.
Yeah.
some other fans that were mine to meet Sean had some ones for Dragon Ball Z or
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, the whole series of Dragon Ball, where you can see like Goku from Z, Goku from GT, Goku from Super, and
Yeah.
really cool poster.
Yeah, I basically walked around looking for that one thing that I was like, I have to have it, and I found it. It was one of those, and it has Toph, Katara, Aang, and Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was like, yes, it's so cool. I unfortunately have so many posters and Funko Pops. I actually still haven't put it on my wall because I don't have space, but it's so cool.
Honestly, you say that, I probably have. There's probably at least like 1 or 2 posters. For some reason, that is feeling like a really weird word for me to say. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. I have like 1 or 2 posters that I still haven't put up yet. I think one's a D&D one.
I have several. I think they're under my bed. I have, definitely some like Doctor Who and Star Trek ones. It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I have really cool. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Doctor Who at all, but they have like a Van Gogh TARDIS thing going on. It's very cool.
I love that poster actually. For Christmas one year, I actually got my mom a what do you call it? It's like a blanket, but it's
comforter.
It's a throw pillow, or not a pillow, but a throw. That had that artwork on it, and I think it's really cool. I think it was the one. It wasn't the Starry Night one, but it was. It is the one with the ship blowing up.
Okay.
Or the TARDIS blowing up, and I really like that.
Yeah, I have the Starry Night one.
Yeah, I figured. That seems to be the more popular of the two, from what I've noticed. I don't know. So, okay,
Probably.
now remind me again, what is MomoCon?
MomoCon is more about manga and anime, and just very Japanese. I actually had never been to a con before, and I went with my 13-year-old cousin. It was just the two of us, so that was an adventure all in itself. And she like got to meet her favorite anime reviewing YouTuber, which was really cool. And we played a lot of like imported Japanese rhythm games, which we both were awful at.
Japanese rhythm games.
Oh my gosh.
Naturally.
Are you like saying that because you're not familiar, or?
Yes, I'm very unfamiliar.
Okay, yeah. The Japanese take their rhythm games so seriously. Like, they're crazy intense. Like, if you've actually ever played DDR.
Oh, okay. Rhythm games.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Have you seen their just game
gosh.
shows? They're ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so beyond. Like, I have pretty good rhythm. I don't stand a chance. I'm always playing them on, like, the easiest difficulty and still failing. There's ones where you have, like, multiple buttons and you have to spin things and hit things, and it's a ton. I think we played one game together and still failed. Where, like, I hit 2 of the buttons and she hit 2 of the buttons. They're insane.
Right. They had Beat Saber available to play.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wanting to play.
That's cool.
I was tempted to play, but I also didn't want to. I never played before, and I didn't want to do it in front of a crowd. So,
oh my gosh!
But I will be attempting to try that because it does look like a lot of fun.
I will do anything VR anywhere because I flipping love VR. I think it's so cool.
I want it, but I don't have money, and
yeah.
I don't know. And I probably don't really have enough space for it.
Yeah, although I feel like a lot of the VR stuff is getting cheaper.
I'm gonna wait till it's free.
Like, not into the realm of really affordable, but if you save up for a little while.
Yeah, just forego rent for a few months, and then you should be fine.
Yeah. Or food. Just eat ramen. You'll be fine.
Ramen is
don't
life.
eat. Just don't eat. You're fine.
Yeah. No, but. Yeah,
no, I mean, I was thinking of this earlier today, actually, with when you brought up MomoCon. I was like, I feel like that name doesn't tell you at all what it is.
Is it named? It's not named after Momo from Avatar. So
No. I don't know where the name comes from. I mean, I feel like it's just a very sort of stereotypical, cutesy sort of name.
mhm.
I don't know,
Okay. I can see that.
because I've definitely seen a good number. I feel like I know a lot of characters who are named Momo, but I don't know where it actually comes from.
Okay. Because I was thinking of that. And I'm like, well, Comic Con kind of tells you what it is, although it seems to have expanded more.
Expanded more into
Yeah.
pop culture because at Comic Con this year we had the Ninja Turtles, Big Bird, people get anime stars from like Todd Haberkorn and Sean Schimmel, at video game stars Master Chief, and
Oh.
Batman were there, but also Ginny Weasley and
Yeah.
David Yost from Power Rangers. So it was still a lot of variety of people from like pop culture. Not a whole lot, but yeah, it wasn't
Gotcha.
focused on comic book heroes or people that have been in superhero movies.
Yeah.
TV
So I got Google to the rescue over here. MomoCon. It's because Momo in Japanese means peach, and so it's like their con in the peach state of Georgia.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So it's like Georgia Japanese con, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I was thinking about this earlier, I started thinking, well, Dragon Con doesn't really tell you what it's about either, because that's not like specifically dragons that it's.
Well, I mean, Dragon Con would imply that it's more fantasy.
Yes.
I would imagine Comic Con would imply that it's more, maybe a little bit more sci-fi. But I feel like I personally don't really know the difference.
Yeah. Well,
if you're going to San Diego or New York, it's definitely more comic oriented.
Is it?
It seems so, because that's where they've been. You get more of the all the ones from the superhero movies to show up. They do more kind of explaining more of their
Yeah, and when I say sci-fi, I don't necessarily mean like Star Trek, Star Wars kind of stuff. I just mean I kind of put superheroes into the sci-fi category.
Yes,
they can.
That's fair.
So I feel like it's
I kind of do too.
Yeah. Less so with dragons and D&D and all that stuff.
Yeah, but like last time there was like Peter Capaldi showed up. He was
to Dragon Con, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And one of the other companions, I can never remember her name because she was my least favorite companion. But
was it Donna?
Yes. I like her as an actress.
Least favorite. She's my favorite.
No, she's terrible. But no, I like her as an actress. I liked her in
Catherine Tate.
Yeah, Catherine Tate. Even though her character, like everybody's character, is awful, I liked her in The Office. I thought she did great in there. And I think she's just kind of funny. I don't think she was good for Doctor Who. So I don't really care about seeing her. But there was a lot of interesting stuff. There was one of my favorite panels that I had gone to was a Venture Brothers panel, which I don't know if either of you watched that. Actually, Josh, you watch it.
Dabbled, as I was forced to by her. I was, I was, brought on board by a roommate and kind of watched as they were watching. So I understand.
I remember they watched it now. Yeah. And I got a hand-drawn picture by one of the artists, and I'm so happy about it, but I was so disappointed too because I was still at the con and I didn't have like a bag or anything that I could carry the picture around with. So I had to fold it up a few times in my pocket. So you can definitely see some creases on it, but it's on my wall in my room. It's a great drawing.
Yes. Yeah. One of the first rules of con, everyone, to bring a backpack or a knapsack because you will.
Yeah.
Will need it.
Yeah,
they gave us some at MomoCon, which was nice.
That was nice of them.
That was nice. Sorry, you go.
I was just gonna say, Ashley, my sister-in-law, went to MomoCon this year, and she got to meet Patrick Warburton.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Which I was kind of confused as to why he was at MomoCon.
I'm so jealous because he did not go by Dragon Con where he should have been.
He really
because of
should
the
have been
Venture
it,
Brothers panel.
We got a poster with our names on it because he signed it. It's great.
Damn you.
Yeah.
Anyways, not jealous. I'm real in
Yeah,
it.
but I think it's mostly because I guess he's done a lot of voice acting, and I think that's why he was there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he did anything like specifically anime related.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just it kind of seems like with MomoCon, DragonCon, and Atlanta Comic Con, maybe celebrities just kind of go to the one they can.
Right. Right.
Kind of seems like, that's when my schedule allows me to go to Atlanta for a weekend. So
Yeah.
there we go.
They really have to kind of play it by ear.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's cancellations because I have a project coming up that I've already have a contract for, so I can't miss it. You know.
And speaking of that, I don't know for sure, but my assumption is probably the reason that he didn't show up to DragonCon last year was I think maybe they were still filming the last season of a series of unfortunate events for Netflix. That's my guess. They may have already been done with production by that point, so I don't know.
Yeah. But I've had to do some some recording, like voiceover, for part of the show. I'm not sure. I have no idea how they do their recording for the whole show or the production, but I could have been it.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
I won't hold it against him personally.
Kind of sounds like you will, though.
Okay, yeah, I will. Anyways, so I was also trying to think of what some of the differences are, some of the major differences between these cons. Obviously, they're rather different subject matters, although it sounds like probably more and more it sounds like they're kind of starting to broaden and kind of cover some of the same bases. But so I know that DragonCon seems to be more it seems to be a bigger event for cosplayers.
Yes.
And that seems to be the bigger draw for them.
I saw a lot of cosplayers at MomoCon.
Yeah, but was it as many as DragonCon?
No, but it's a smaller event.
True. Yeah. DragonCon has the big parade, and it's also at a very peak tourist season for Atlanta.
It is. DragonCon definitely.
Everyone's there, and they're doing all sorts of cosplays, and there's a lot more things going on, a lot more guests. So it's, I guess, more of an incentive to dress up. And
again, though, it's a bigger event, so it's like maybe percentage-wise, the numbers aren't really that different.
But, well, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's been there.
Again, I haven't been to any of the others, so it's hard to say. But again, it is just a very busy weekend in Atlanta during that time, because not only do you have DragonCon going on, but at the same time you also have someone was telling me, I think it's like Black Pride Parade or something, and you have the Pride Parade, the LGBT Pride Parade.
Yeah.
I
don't know how. Maybe I'm gonna participate in that. I don't know. Probably not though.
I just need to go to DragonCon. I'm so disappointed in myself for never having been, because it's I can't. I'm poor.
What? It's like, I'm poor.
But it's like August 30th to September 3rd, I think. And my birthday is September 2nd, and it's like always DragonCon weekend, and I've never been.
Owe it to yourself.
I know, I do, but
yourself.
Okay, is Patrick poor too? I mean, you're poor.
Yes.
Patrick. Yes. Fine.
Collectively, we are poor.
Yeah. Collectively, you have enough money for one of you to go.
I don't know. Those tickets are expensive, and especially now that it's only like a month and a half out.
Plan.
Maybe I'll go 2020 and I'll buy tickets for my birthday this year.
It wasn't as expensive. It wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I just bought tickets yesterday, and they were like 140.
Yeah, I know.
Not inexpensive, but it will be worse if you wait.
You have to understand, I'm trying to move out of my parents' basement so I can have a baby. I don't have a lot of extra expense money right now.
The struggles.
Yeah,
I did go in 2016 to DragonCon. The only time I've been. 2015, I went to the parade and I just kind of watched, and that was amazing. Everyone there is super creative and very they were very dedicated to their costume.
Mm.
'Cause I was a little under the weather that whole weekend because I was meaning to
Aw.
go. I was able to see a lot of cosplay when I was like walking around. But I didn't actually have my ticket, but I got a ticket for Sunday when I was feeling better, and I was able to go to a couple panels and then see. I think first one was I want to say it was a Firefly panel.
Could be.
I think it was a Firefly panel. And then the second one was a DC Comics, DC Universe, panel. Really, just talking about Legends of Tomorrow after their first season.
Hmm.
Had wrapped.
Hey,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry. Did you say
That-
2016?
2016.
Was that when we were roommates?
Yes, we were roommates. Yes, we were.
Okay, did we not coordinate? Because I went to Dragon Con. I kind of walked around Dragon Con at that year.
Wait, what?
Like, I mean, I didn't get a ticket or anything, but I went to the one of the hotels and I just kind of walked around and looked at some of the costumes and stuff.
Okay.
But I don't recall you mentioning any of that.
Yeah, yeah, I just kind of went. I had some my friends from my hometown had come up to visit. We hung out we had hung out that weekend.
Now I remember you went to Walker Stalker Con.
Yeah, that happened that same year. That was first. I also went to Walker Stalker for the first time that year.
Because I remember you went to that because
Mhm.
you guys had like an extra pass or something. Something happened and I was able to go with you guys on like the last day, I think, to see the premiere of like the second episode of the Walking Dead season.
Yeah, they let you use our other friends' pass. We didn't have an extra one, so let you use someone who our couple friends that didn't want to go.
Yeah, so that was an extra one.
Use someone else's.
Yeah, it was extra because it wasn't being used at the time.
Okay.
Anyways, not important. Semantics.
Not important.
Save it for the semantics dome.
Anyway, so I went to Dragon Con and I met the guy who plays Vandal Savage in Legends and got to see met the guy who voices Gorilla Grodd and Flash and
Maybe you did tell me this because that sounds familiar.
yes, and also at the end of it, which was the best part, I went to the robot wrestling tournament, which was awesome, and it was something I definitely recommend seeing if you go, especially if you like wrestling and if you like robots.
Actually, I do not remember you telling me about that, but I remember seeing that on a list of the events when I went to Dragon Con last time, but I didn't actually end up going to it, and I was disappointed. I think I went to like a filmmakers meeting, and I was really disappointed because it was more for the people who actually made short films for the festival there, and I didn't make one because I didn't know it was a thing that was going on. So I just kind of ended up sitting around listening to other people feeling like an idiot. But
Next time.
I missed the robot wrestling.
Yes, which was very
I'm
fun.
not into wrestling, but I am into robots. So
You will like the robots. They have the specific designs of like pushers and throwers and spinners, something like that.
I feel like that sounds familiar.
But it's still really entertaining, and so you have to you have to get inside the the heads of designers. Like, I wonder how would you make a robot that you need to be able to push them out or pick them up, which they do seeing a robot pick up another robot and twirling it around. It feels like you're in a giant WrestleMania.
Yeah, and one of my favorite hobbies is getting really into a sport for a day.
Yes.
So.
I choose not to get into any sports for any amount of time.
No, it's just like stuff like I frequent Taco Mac, which is a sports bar. And they sometimes play random sports on the TVs, and so I've been once and got really into their cornhole tournament.
Of course, that sounds.
I watched that and
Cornhole
was like super
tournament.
into it and like looking up all the stats of the players and stuff. And then one time I went with my family and we got really into sumo wrestling because that was playing on one of the TVs.
That I could get into.
Yeah, but just for a day. But like we went home and pulled up the same channel so we could see the rest of the match. So I could be really, really excited about robot wrestling for a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you're there for the con,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah.
see everybody.
I'll like scream and shout and be like, destroy him, like whatever everyone else is doing, I'm there. So
Yeah. Not like so. Terms of sports that we can get into occasionally, if we're talking about that for a second.
I don't know. Can we talk about sports on this?
Well, not real sports.
Okay.
The
I
nerd
might
boys
get
gonna
I might get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
I might get some hate for saying not real. But occasionally, even this I don't get super into, but occasionally I will get pretty into like the Overwatch League.
Oh,
sports.
yeah, esports are fair game. We can talk about esports on a Nerd Variety podcast all day long. That's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually a big fan of Atlanta Reign because I live in Atlanta and it's an Overwatch thing. So yeah, I'm actually part of their Discord too. Although I've never actually looked at it or said anything on there or read anything, but still, I'm part of it.
There you go. That's what counts.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if this already happened. I want to say it did, but they actually came to Atlanta a little bit ago. Yeah, I think it was a little bit ago, just recently. And they did an Overwatch tournament where Atlanta Reign played locally.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that would be cool if I could go to that, but it probably costs money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think esports are a good alternative thing, and I think they would be great. I live in a smaller community, and we do have high school and rec and rec and like school grade school sports. A college that does some sports, a small college does some sports during the year, mostly just soccer and some softball. But I think esports would be a good way to really bridge the gap between cover other bases. Like, oh, we have this population of people who like to play video games and or mobile games like Pokemon Go. Let them kind of have a place and host an esports thing and have like a local tournament. And you'll definitely find an audience for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I've wanted, every once in a while I've thought about it when I watch an Overwatch League thing. I think it would be kind of interesting if I got really into this, like other people get into actual like physical sports and like knew the lineup of teams and knew kind of their personalities and knew the players and everything. And now I'm like, that just sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to do that.
I'll just watch them fight each other and see and just enjoy the intensity that when it's down to like the last two guys and it's all down to one headshot.
Yeah, you've never watched anybody play Overwatch, have you?
I'm thinking more of a Halo. I have watched a little bit of the Halo championships.
Or maybe CSGO, although that I have no idea what I'm talking about when I say that because I've never really played Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah.
Global Offensive.
Hannah, at MomoCon, they did have, I know they have a Smash Brothers tournament.
Okay. I don't remember.
I have a friend that he always talks about going. He's been going for the past couple of years, and he goes into the Smash Brothers tournament because so he'll have people that are actually good to play against.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of toys with all of us in Eastman. Just to, he says, "Oh, come on, guys, it's fun. You guys can do it. It's not that. I'm not going to beat y'all too hard." It's like, and he beats us. And it's like, it's like you get so close. You feel like you get so close to beating him, and he just just floats off back into this platform, and just.
I'm pretty.
I'm okay. But he goes to the tournament. And he has a great time. He finds people that he can compete against, and it's a lot of fun.
I would definitely watch a Super Smash tournament. That would be a lot of fun. I had pretty limited experiences when I went to MomoCon because again, it was my first con. I went with my cousin who was maybe even 12 at the time. So we mostly just like wandered around and we played a lot of rhythm games very badly. So I didn't go to a lot of panels that I wanted to because we kind of had to divvy up because we had different interests. And I didn't want to make her sit through anything that she was going to be super bored in.
Right. That's kind of thing when you go with a group of friends, you have to
Mm-hmm.
kind of be understanding that you guys aren't going to, they're going to be different panels, different time at the same times, and you have to kind of be like, okay, well, I want to see this,
Yeah. Can't really
animation
do
one
that while
one
babysitting.
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
So
No, when I went, there was a few of us, and I kind of wanted to spend some time with them, but I was like, okay, they're going over to this other panel. I don't care about it. I want to see this other one, so I see ya. And
yeah.
I'm gonna go do my thing. But
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun to take my husband to MomoCon sometime, because I'm trying to get him a little bit more into anime. And we're watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood right now, which is so good.
Yes, it's so good.
But I feel like it'd be fun to just completely overwhelm him with anime for a day.
Yeah, just throw him in the deep end.
Yeah, we're gonna go to all the panels, and it'll be great.
Yeah,
I've
make him meet someone from your favorite that voices your
Yes.
favorite anime, and just he'll be like, hey,
Cool, great.
so, cool.
Yeah.
I met I didn't I was my cousin I had to put I was kind of helping my cousin out. He was in his wheelchair going to meet Todd, and I just kind of let him meet Todd, and I was like, well, hey, nice to meet you. I'll try to start watching your show, and just kind of wheeled
Wow.
out. It was just I didn't know what to say. It was like
That's really funny.
Awkward. That's awkward is the best kind of thing.
I mean, that's basically what I did, because my cousin wanted to meet her favorite YouTuber who was there at MomoCon.
Yeah.
And she even had a piece of fan art to give her. And so we kind of like caught her as she was leaving a panel, and I'm like, go, 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 and I pushed her, and she ran over there, and they took a really awful selfie together, because my cousin was super nervous, so she held her phone below their faces to get the picture, and I'm like, Abby, oh, why?
he's got to kind of remind yourself, slow down, remind yourself that they're just a person.
Yeah, but just like a 12-year-old girl meeting her favorite YouTuber. It was adorable.
Trust me. I met meeting Rob Paulson, who voices Pinky and the Pinky, and one of the Animaniacs, I think Yakko, and one of the Turtles. Meeting him was just like this. I was glad to make him laugh. Meeting Kevin Conroy was like, I don't know what to say to you.
What can you say?
Thank you for voicing one of my favorite, voicing this role that's been part of my life since I was born.
What you need to say to Kevin Conroy is, hey, go find Mark Hamill and see which one will win the fight.
I did greet him as the Joker. Hello, Bats. How are you today? And he threw his head back and laughed. Oh, the Joker, no. I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of those, but
Yeah, that was probably a pity laugh.
Wow, rude.
No, I mean, no. So I mean, that was funny. That would have been really funny.
I know I'm not Hamill, but
No, not about that. Just about the fact that he probably gets that a lot. So
yeah. I mean, he had guys dressed as so many different kinds of Jokers and Batman that it was just he was probably just ready for it. He's probably seen it almost everything now.
Yeah, you just have to promise us that if you ever meet Obama, that you have to do your impersonation of him.
Oh yeah.
When you meet him, because that's a really good impression.
I have to make sure I'm dressed as him too.
Yeah.
Like ready to look like him, and just kind of do a whole like mirror thing. It's like pointing at myself, pointing at him, turning up. See, just
yes.
Make sure to someone with. I always think it's funny.
That would be amazing. I want photos.
Yes.
Yes.
Photos. We talking about? We need a video for that.
Oh, you better believe I'll get the video.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Okay. So, also another thing that actually I thought of a few minutes ago. So, from my experience with Dragon Con, I know they have like a party each night. They have like a lot of different parties.
P-A-R-T-Y.
Those were like fun little things. They had very different like theme parties, and it was just they had one that was like what was it, last party of Alderaan or something, last party on Alderaan, and there's like a Harry Potter themed one where they, like announced. I don't even know. There was so many stuff. It was hard for me to
Mhm.
keep straight. There was a Wakanda party, like a Wakanda comes out to the world party,
Hmm.
um, and all sorts of stuff. So I was just wondering, like, is that something that they've done at like MomoCon or
They
at
had a
Dragon
lot
Con?
of like late night events. I can't remember how late they went, but they were all, again, I didn't go because they were all a little bit more adult oriented.
Yeah.
Um, and I promised to have my cousin back to her mom by like 6 or whatever.
6
Um,
a.m.
yeah, no, 6 in the evening, 6 in the evening.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
um,
Either one's acceptable.
and I would love to go to one of them. And they definitely had a lot of, I think they had events going until past midnight, I
Oh
think.
yeah,
Um,
no doubt.
and
Yeah.
I would love to go, but maybe next time.
Yeah, they had some super late night events at Dragon Con, as I recall.
Yes.
I could be confusing this, but as I recall, they had some really late night events, and I was just like, I'm not prepared for this. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm such a night owl. I'd be fine.
Well,
Yeah.
see, the
You can
thing
hang
was, I was also staying at a friend's apartment in downtown Atlanta, and I didn't want to have to walk back in the middle of the night.
That's fair.
The walking is what gets you. It's like you want to. It's like these things sound fun, but it's also later in the day. You've been walking for
Later in the day.
already
Later in the
five
day.
plus hours already. So how much more? How much more can you handle?
Yeah, and
like it would have been different if I had had a hotel room or something in one of the main hotels. Like that would have been no problem with me.
Mhm.
Yeah, my friend, he was at Dragon Con that year, and he came to see us. He had, I think he had come from a party to see us, and then he left later to go to another party. I'm not sure about Walker Stalker. I can imagine they might have some kind of parties, especially since it's around Halloween. There's something might be happening, but I don't recall from the couple times that I've been. Atlanta Comic Con only had they had an adult version of their improv show, and they had Rocky Horror from 10:30 to 12. But that was pretty much it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you knew somebody, they might have been throwing a party, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like I've only ever been to MomoCon, and it's a significantly smaller con than Dragon Con, and I was already just completely overwhelmed by the number of panels to go see and all this stuff at events and arts and crafts things. And I feel like if you're gonna go to a party, maybe you just need to resign yourself to the fact that you need to like go sit down for 4 hours
yes,
and
Yeah.
maybe get a drink and a burger and just chill before
That's true.
going out again, because
That's
you
true.
can't go all day like that. There's too much to do, and oh my gosh, I was overwhelmed.
Especially if you're doing cosplay already that day. That's a lot.
Oh my gosh. And there's some people who do like multiple different cosplay outfits
Oh yeah.
during the weekend.
I'm definitely planning on doing multiple
Ugh,
cosplays during this one, but
I would love to, but
I've heard people do like a different one for each day at
oh
least,
my goodness.
and I'm rather happy about mine. I have planned to do a whole like Spider-Verse thing.
Ooh,
That would be cool. Yeah, make them themed, because
that'd be cool.
from what some of the people at Atlanta Comic Con told me, these costumes took 3 months to prepare, and I attempted to do my own cosplay for Walker Stalker back in 2017, but it was kind of complicated. Even though I had planned for a couple months, like I think for a couple months earlier, but it was still just you have to you really have to commit.
I'm working on a costume to wear to the Ren Fair, the Renaissance Festival, and it's taken me like 2 years to compile the pieces because of just like the time, energy, and finances that have to go into it. Because I want it to like really be good, and I have some really, really awesome pieces, but it's like, whew,
making cosplays are tough. I started thinking about them like at the end of, or maybe even during like Dragon Con last year, and I got stuff to start making them like at the beginning of this year. I still haven't done anything with them, so but in my defense, I've been going through some stuff anyways. So like I ended up buying all my costumes,
Mm-hmm.
especially since they're Spider-Man stuff. I feel like
Yeah.
it's better to just buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially while it's out. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's the Spider. This has been like Spider-Man's year. He's
Yeah.
back
Yeah. Well, and that's
years, so the stuff is out there to
yeah. And
get.
if you're gonna do like a Spider-Man costume, that's something that if you want to make it by hand, you're gonna have to like sew.
Yeah.
And that's a level of commitment I'm not ready for, right?
Right.
So with me trying to create a costume, it's mostly it's a pirate costume, and it's like I got a hat, I got a skirt, I got a really kick-ass sword that I love.
Yeah.
So it's more like buying pieces because it feels like kind of the middle ground between just buying something out of a plastic bag and sewing something myself.
Yeah, I get that. I
And
was
that
kind of the
is
same with one of my cosplays that I haven't actually I've done it for like Halloween the past few years,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been kind of adding stuff to it and changing it up. It's like an Assassin's Creed thing, and then I changed it to be like part Destiny, like the hunter from Destiny,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been all over the place. And then I have some like Eva foam because I heard that was good for cosplays. That's something I still haven't done anything with. But
so
this year I have my the only one that I actually just bought two yesterday, kind of on accident, but I was gonna get them anyway. And one that I have is Miles Morales' suit from Into the Spider-Verse, which
Mm.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I
And
finally saw that movie like 3 days ago.
yeah, and I also got this one I hadn't actually really planned on too much, but before I bought it, but I got the new costume from the game. So
Okay.
the one with the white spider outline and everything.
That
That
one's
one's
cool.
it is cool, and I'm really excited about it. And because of the whole recent thing with me and the whole non-binary thing, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not 100% convinced of, but whatever, that's for me later another time.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Not whatever to like your issues, but like it's
Not entirely relevant, but it is. Never mind. Anyways, the other one I got was a Gwen Stacy it was a Spider-Gwen costume,
okay.
which I really like that costume.
it is a
Mhm.
great costume.
It is really cool. It's got, like the hood and everything. It's the white and black.
Yeah.
And pink. And I think it's really awesome. So I was like, all right, I have a good theme going. That's two characters at least from the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the other one's not the same movie, it's still Spider-Man, and it's one of his newer costumes. And I think I'm really excited.
Yeah. Well, and kind of tying in the topic of non-binary and gender identity, one of the cool things about cosplay is like no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Right? So it's like
And-
do it regardless of who you are.
And especially, I think I feel especially comfortable, hopefully we'll feel especially comfortable doing it during Pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one other thing I want to say about that was just a little note, a little thing about me that I'm happy for is I joined a Facebook group of it was like LGBT Dragon Con goers,
Cool.
and someone was saying that they're looking for panelists based to talk about, like, I don't remember if it was non-binary stuff, but I think it was just like representation of like LGBT representation in media in general. And I'm like, hey, I just did a podcast about this kind of thing. I'll speak on your panel.
Yeah,
So
definitely have the community to kind of converse with and meet at the cons, because it's all about embracing diversity and embracing all different types of fandoms, even though it's supposed to be, even though it's like, oh, this is anime con, this is geeky, not comic con, this is horror, supernatural con, but we can all enjoy what we like and express ourselves.
Well, and I think it helps that kind of nerd culture started out and still kind of is to a certain extent this the outcasts, right? And we're kind of used to being like made fun of and stuff. Not so much anymore, but definitely only like 15 years ago, if that. right? Being a nerd was not a good thing.
Yes.
And so I feel like it pairs really easily with this idea of just be you and whatever. It's kind of like, yeah, society doesn't really get us, but that's okay. We're just going to do our thing.
Yeah, we understand each other though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Cool stuff. And that's what I love about it. And that's what's great about cons.
Yeah. I'm like slightly surprised that they have parties, because I do kind of there is the stereotype of nerds being very introverted, and I'm like, I don't know if I would enjoy going to one of those parties, but
I kind of thought that exact same thing. I think it was something slightly different, but
yeah.
I think it was when I was in high school. It was like a kind of a nerd thing, basically, and they had like a party, and I was just like, I think this is hilarious because this is all the people that wouldn't do anything at a dance.
Wait, everyone came out of their mom's basements? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yes, we got them now.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's our hour. I think it's good to keep this at an hour length.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know what? We should have talked about a sign off.
At some point we'll get there.
Before. But okay, yeah. So this was great.
I was going to suggest this is Nerd Variety geeking off.
Over and out.
Nerding out.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Nerding out.
Oh yeah,
right.
we got
This
some
was Nerd Variety, and we're here to tell you, go to some cons and enjoy being a nerd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next time.
Do it.